Welcome to Walk On. This is Liverpool Football Talk. I got Stephen Kushian here.
How you doing, Kayvon?
I'm alright, man. But it doesn't matter how I'm doing. We're here to talk about Liverpool. And I got a guy. Well, first of all, Steve, brewmaster from Pacific Plate Brewery in Monrovia. Plug right there for the best beer in the world.
Thanks.
But I got a guy here who just got back from England. Literally.
Anfield.
You're in Liverpool. Steve was at Liverpool for the Swansea game, the dreaded Swansea game.
What a game to go to.
Yeah, his only ever game. And I showed you a picture of him on the last show we had that wasn't such a good result. But it was... Give us some thoughts about being there.
Amazing. It's mind-blowing. Everything that you think you're going to experience, every emotion you think you're going to have, it's 10 times more. It's 10 times more amazing to actually be there, to get into Liverpool the night before, having never been there, to take the trek to the stadium, to meet the people, to see how they live. I mean, it's just absolutely magical in every way possible. And I don't regret it one bit. It's the most amazing trip I've ever taken in my life. I highly recommend it.
Well, I'm jealous, obviously. You got to Anfield. But it was a tough game. It was the first game. No, it wasn't the first game they lost in the month. It was a dreadful month.
It was a terrible month.
And listen, I was going to start the show like this. I was going to say that there's breaking news that I was sitting on the couch with Steve talking, and that he said Liverpool have been unprofessional. And that's why they've had this bad run in January.
Well, what I specifically said, Kayhan,
breaking news on Kayhan TV Studios,
that Liverpool, of the top 5 teams that are contending for the top 4 positions that will get European qualification, of the top 5 teams, Liverpool is the most unprofessional of them. And if it's professionalism that wins Premier League trophies, and if it's professionalism that gets you top 4, then Liverpool will finish 5th.
I don't agree about. I don't think it's professionalism though. There's a lot more to it. If you want to talk about professionalism, first of all, we just saw Liverpool beat Tottenham, who were completely. I guess the criticism on Spurs was that they were just not into that game.
Yeah.
How about unprofessionalism there? But they were fine losing points to Liverpool. They probably knew they were going to lose points to Liverpool in that game, but I don't know about unprofessional for Liverpool. I would say more fatigue, actual fatigue. It was a tough month. There was a lot of games. There was the FA Cup replay. They had 2 rounds of FA Cup and 2 legs against Southampton, which don't tell me that is not going to affect the team. Against Southampton, 2 legs in a semifinal of a tournament. That made him tired, dude. And that was right in between Manchester United games. That was right before the Chelsea game. And they were putting full force into that. They didn't win the game.
Let me say this.
Go ahead.
On, December 31st or whatever it was, when Liverpool played Manchester City, and they won at Anfield, and everybody was saying and chanting, Liverpool's going to win the league. Liverpool's going to win the league. Do you think they were saying it in their head too much? Do you think they played half a season, Kayhan? And then 2017 rolled around, and all of a sudden they're hungover from that excellent first half of the season. And they forgot, hey, we're only halfway through this thing. And they forgot, you actually have to play defense in the Premier League. You can't just attack down the middle. You actually have to be able to cross a ball if they force you wide. You can't just rely on your Messi-like offense and just think that you're going to carve up every single team and not have to play defense and not have to have a winger that can actually cross a ball onto somebody's head or foot.
The wings definitely are a problem right now. The fullbacks, the Milner is doing his best. But if you want me to go back to that Manchester City game, this is where I'll say everything started to spiral, was after that Manchester City game. And they played Sunderland after that. And they should have got 3 points. And that was a huge blow, not getting those 3 points. And that was because, in my opinion, because of the fatigue. They had played Man City 2 days earlier, and he put the same squad out. And I came to a conclusion on one of my shows recently that I don't think a Jurgen Klopp style team can play 2 games in a week. You shouldn't even
Not the
ask.
way he plays, no.
You shouldn't ask a player to do that. It's all about passion for this team. It's all about emotion. It's all about just gung-ho, use every last drop of energy. And you can't do that on Wednesday and then play again on Saturday. But that one was 2 days rest. And against Sunderland, the second goal was all about fatigue. There was just no movement in the legs, and they gave up a goal. And that was a huge blow. And then things just started to spiral after that. And I think losing the cup competitions was bad, and they had a lot of bad Premier League results in that month. But they need to have less fixtures, or they need to have 2 teams. The second team is so bad. Like, it's a really thin squad. We're like 15 deep, basically.
Yeah, there's nobody. There's nobody. I mean, when Mane left, when Coutinho was injured,
Yeah.
who was left on that team?
Yeah. So we're 15 deep, and for a team to play it all gung-ho like that, like, you try it. Go run your ass off for 90 minutes, then try to do that on Wednesday, then try to do it on Saturday. Hell no, dude. You need a whole week to recover from that.
Well, that's the difference between Liverpool and some people say that Liverpool's not in the same tier as the other super clubs in the Premier League. They don't have the same amount of money. They have.
So would you agree with me that that's a reason of what happened in January?
Depth of squad.
You said unprofessional.
Depth of squad is a huge issue, but don't you think that Jurgen Klopp has been a little unprofessional in his team selection in January? Don't you think that he could have prioritized Premier League games over Cup games? Don't you think that he could have selected some different squads there?
Yeah, but I don't think he realizes this yet. I think he's gonna realize it far later than I do.
But if we realize it, and
I don't know. Dude.
I'm not getting paid by Liverpool. He is. If we realize it, don't you think Jurgen Klopp should?
I don't.
Or
think
is this
so.
new for him? Is this
It
this
kind
isn't
of
the
is.
Bundesliga?
It's too many tournaments. There's 4
I
tournaments.
think he's a little shocked at how competitive and intense the Premier League is compared to the Bundesliga.
Yeah, and he couldn't balance all that in January. And even when he rotated the squad a little bit, you know, Firmino was still playing against Wolves, and then he was playing in the Swansea game. That mattered. Not having those games, he should have just pretended that they weren't there. He should just do like Spurs do. And, you know, and that's the one thing, like, we'll talk about it in a minute because we got to take a break right now. But Manchester United have 4 tournaments also, and they're one of our rivals for top 4. And we basically need to figure out, the last thing we need to talk to Steve about before he leaves, he's a very busy guy, is whether Liverpool's going to be in top 4 or not, because that's all that matters now. We got nothing left.
That's true.
We got nothing
the only
left.
thing that matters.
It's just that we got the league, everything else is gone. Right after these messages, top 4 for Liverpool from Steve. I'm going to get his prediction. Come back for segment 2.